All right. Emily, is the PowerPoint showing up on your screen?
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, listen, everyone that's logging in right now, Emily and I are on phone right now, and we are so excited to do this webinar tonight.
Hi guys.
We have a lot. Hey, what's up, Em?
Hey.
So we've got a ton of content out tonight. Tomorrow, the first workout 15.1 gets unleashed. So there's a lot of content that we have, and I know Emily's been training for the past year diligently. But Emily, I know when I asked you to do this, I know you're really excited to do this webinar. You've had a lot of success over the past few years in CrossFit. So just if you don't mind, just maybe starting off and sharing with everyone the whole goal and why you wanted to help assist me and even do this as well and co-presenting this workshop.
Yeah, I mean, this past year has been incredible. I mean, I can't say a lot of hard work didn't go into it, but yeah, I mean, I just want to share a little bit of my experience and give back to anybody that, wants a little advice going into the open or maybe is a little nervous going in. So any way I can help or answer questions, I would be happy to.
Awesome. And if you can see everyone on the side, there actually is a chat box. So any questions you have, you can go ahead and ask those questions, and we'll make sure that we get those answered tonight. As well as on my website, I'm actually going to replay this webinar for anyone who missed it, or if you want to share it with any friends. This is a 5-week long open series, so all these strategies will be very valuable to you. I wanted to make sure that we got this out there as well because I know a lot of people are pushing themselves these next 5 weeks. I know a lot of people have a lot of big goals set for themselves, and I personally look at these next 5 weeks as a real challenge for myself. So, hopefully between Emily and myself, because both of us have different goals in the open and how we want to perform, hopefully we can give you guys the strategies you need to just really create an awesome 5 weeks. First question, Emily, I wanted to ask you is every year I feel like for you has probably been a different reason why you want to do the open. And what would you say your reason is maybe what it used to be versus what it is today?
Well, the first year I did it just to kind of it was my first chance to go dive into competition of CrossFit, and I really kind of wanted to see where I ranked within the state because I talked to Ben and he said, yeah, I definitely think you could be competitive within the state. I'm not sure how you would stack up within the region. But I guess I just did it because I found that it was my first way that I could be competitive within the sport.
Awesome. And then what about now? What's the now?
Now I do it. The most obvious reason I do it is it's the first stepping stone in the CrossFit Games season. The stepping stone to get to regionals. But also I enjoy doing it because it's a good way to measure progress from year to year. Sometimes they repeat workouts, which is cool to see from one year to the next. And sometimes you surprise yourself with how you stack up, and sometimes you find a brand new weakness.
Yeah, and I don't know if anyone saw your Facebook or Instagram post today, but for those that haven't seen it, Emily just recently, I just saw this. You can kind of track some of her journey, it seems like, through that Flow. Is it flowelite.com, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be on Flow Elite next Wednesday, the full story, and I don't know how much they'll show, but I felt like after the interview I gave my whole life story, so it definitely it should
Awesome.
follow the journey a little bit and take you kind of through where I came from to the beginning of my CrossFit career to where I am now.
Well, and that's why I've loved working with you the past year. I mean, you're someone who's so relatable, yet someone who is one of the most humble people I know as well, and it's just an inspiration for a lot of people. And I know people that come to my office who you may not know personally, but who know of you, even say the same thing as well. And so, what I think you've done for the CrossFit community and the inspiration you've had for younger women and even men as well, I think it's an awesome thing. So keep doing what you're doing. It's awesome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I never want to feel like I'm like so much of a CrossFit celebrity that I can't relate to the normal CrossFitter because I didn't get into this, to make the CrossFit Games. I went into this to just be more fit and to, have a new interest. And then I just surprisingly, was able to succeed in it from years of gymnastics. So I don't feel like I'm any better than anybody else just because I work out fast. You know what I mean?
Well, you do what winners do. I mean, dedication, hard work, commitment. And some of the strategies we'll be talking about as well tonight that we're going to share with everyone as well are some of the things that people can be doing as well to get the goals that they want to achieve. And I wanted to take a second just because I know Emily and I, of course, have different goals on why we did the Open, but there was a reason why I did it. And for myself, I actually took a year off of CrossFit to train for Ironman triathlon competitions. And just over the past few weeks, I've got back into CrossFit twice a week. And for me, the CrossFit Open is a way I can challenge myself and push to beyond what I think is possible from me. And it's 5 weeks where I commit to doing it, bring nothing back. I'm eating a certain way, I'm working out a certain way, I'm committing a certain way to pushing myself to pass my limits. And that's why I love CrossFit. That's why I love taking care of CrossFitters, is because you're watching people who have this goal of just maybe getting in shape at first, but then seeing them transform an entire lifestyle and a way they are through CrossFit, which is awesome. So for me, it's really just about commitment and pushing myself to beyond what I think is possible. So I want to show everyone this. Tomorrow, the dates is when it starts, February 26th through March 30th. Emily, next week, though, is a special one, isn't it?
Yeah, so this year I was chosen to do one of the live announcements. So I'll be traveling to Austin, Texas next Tuesday, and then next Thursday, March 5th. I'll be live on the game site when they announce the workout. Michelle, Latondra, and I will go head-to-head and kind of on the spot with a big crowd and a big internet crowd as well. So make sure to watch that.
Yeah, and everyone, just so you know, the chant is all Bridgers. So right before it starts, we all chant all Bridgers. Actually, at the CrossFit Games when we went there to support Emily, it was so funny. Right before they were like 3, 2, 1, her whole posse, we would all chant all Bridgers, and you could see like could you hear us doing that?
Yeah, it was awesome. I had like one of the best cheering sections out there.
Which is funny. I mean, you could see all the people from CrossFit Invictus. They were like, "Wait, what's going on right now?" But it was great. And for those that don't know, Emily's actually part of Squat Mafia, and her fiance coach as well is what runs the whole system. And if you follow them, Squat Mafia, great group of people to follow. I'm friends with a lot of people in that group, and a lot of them come to my office and take care of their bodies, and just who they are as people are just some of the best people I've had the privilege of taking care of and getting to know. So just a great group to follow on Instagram or Facebook at Squat Mafia. And just so you guys see right here, I mean, yeah, this right here, I mean, Emily, do you recent count of applicants for CrossFit Open or not?
What'd you say?
Do you know the recent count of applicants and how many people so far do the Open?
Isn't it something like 250,000 this year?
Yeah, I think that's what they're projecting is over 250,000. I know that Dave Castro was giving out, every 10,000 was giving out a prize. And guys, there's going to be a lot of great competition there, and it's going to be fun. So if you haven't registered for it yet, what is the goal? 300 million in the U.S. and then 6 billion people, whatever, world registrants?
Yeah, it should be.
Should be. That'd be awesome. Well, let's go ahead and get started with some of the strategy and really what people can be doing to just dominate the Open, not for anyone else, but for themselves. And Emily, if you wouldn't mind, I mean, you've been doing the Open. How many years, by the way, have you been doing the Open?
This will be my 5th time. So I started in 2011 during the first Open that was available.
Awesome. So then you've definitely tailored your strategies then around it. And I was in Carson. I got to talk to some people as well about it. So it was really interesting to hear their strategies. But let's kind of go into planning 24 hours around the workout. Workout gets released Thursday night. And when do you plan on doing the workout?
I generally go in with the plan to do the workout on Friday morning. So I actually do it earlier, I think, than most people because some people kind of wait it out to see what kind of strategies come out. But I kind of, prep myself. Wednesday will be my last big training session. Then I like to see Austin on Wednesdays to get my last adjustment. I usually generally go to him once a week because I believe that chiropractic has helped me quite a bit stay prepared and on the top of my game throughout this process. I started going to him last February, so it's been a little over a year now, and I've been able to maintain a healthy body, no significant injuries at all. So I'll do that on Wednesdays, and then generally take a rest day or maybe like a small aerobic day on Thursday, and then just kind of get ready for the announcement. Plan out a good dinner. Nothing like in particular. And then Friday morning, I'm ready to hit it at 10 a.m. and the time that I generally work out, same time. I'm not really big into changing much that you do from your everyday routine. And then I never really plan to do the workouts twice, but I don't have anything against doing them twice. So if I need or want to do it again, if I feel like I can learn something about myself, I'll plan to do it again on Monday at the same time.
Emily, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, my phone. But so listen, Emily, highly elite athlete, right? So just been dominating recently, doing really well, highly elite. I'm the average Joe, and for myself, I need a little bit more of a boost nutritionally than Emily would need. So I need every advantage I can get to do really well in this. And I'm not trying to go to the games, and I'm not trying to go to regionals, but I really want to do well for myself and see how I can fare every year. And so one thing I definitely tell as well, for whether it's the average Joe or someone who wants to do really well, I think a great quinoa dinner the night before pending the workout, if it's a high endurance workout, definitely loading up on some quinoa or sweet potatoes with some veggies. Great call just to get those carbs up, get that energy up. Usually that works really well nutritionally. Emily said a great point. Utilizing chiropractic, I think that's underutilized, and not just chiropractic, but I think a lot of other self-care strategies. CrossFit is a very intense form of working out, and the only reason they're hurting it is because they're not doing the things necessary in order to take care of their bodies. Whether they're an accountant, a lawyer, or sitting in front of a computer doing IT, they do that for 8 to 10 hours a day, and they expect to work out at an intense level like a professional athlete does, but yet they're not doing the self things that a professional athlete does. So the key is doing those things, and Emily said it great. She's been doing this for a year now, getting adjusted once a week, and just being able to see from my perspective, she may not notice some of the things, but I can feel just the biomechanics, the mobility, the range of motion, better loading on the joints, really great things. And for those of you as well who get massaged regularly, a massage would be great. Another thing I think is great is, Emily, have you ever tried compression socks?
I have not really used compression socks, but I have been using compression pants like the Normatec lately.
Oh, what do you
my
think?
workouts.
Same concept. What do you think about that?
It's been good. I mean, I've only been using it for a couple weeks, so I'll continue to use it and see how I feel about it. But I think it definitely helps with blood flow if you can get a hold of, maybe even sleep in compression pants, or get a hold of some kind of compression gear or recovery gear.
Definitely. Yeah, and I know, I believe it was last year, 14.3, the workout was a box jumps. And, usually in a box jumps, you want to make sure your calves, there's a lot of blood flow going through there, and there's no tightness going on as well. Or really any workout where you're using your ankle joint a lot. So, if you could sleep in some compression socks, you can get them online at Amazon or a lot of different other places. Great strategy to be able to utilize. And by the way, for those of you that are missing some of these, because this is going to be a lot of information, I'll actually create a PDF file that I'll just throw on my website that you can grab this off as well. It's draustincohen.com. It's draustincohen.com. And you can download this PDF file as well. Do you drink anything special, Emily, before workouts?
Generally every morning I have a Starbucks iced coffee.
Nice.
Don't worry, Starbucks doesn't sponsor me. I'm not paid to say that. I drink a lot of vitamin water zero to stay hydrated throughout the day, like a lot, just because I feel like with regular water, I don't stay as hydrated as something with some added electrolytes. And then occasionally, depending on my workout time, I'll take a Progenics Force for a little caffeine boost, but I don't dive into that too much mixed with the coffee. That can be a little much, but
Heartbeat jumping out of your chest?
afterwards, I take a Progenics recovery shake.
Awesome. And the two things you said were things that I would highlight from a nutritional perspective. Uh, making sure your body has tons of electrolytes. A lot of people do the workout on Friday or Saturday, so you want to make sure, because usually these are high burst training workouts, so you want to make sure that you got a lot of electrolytes, whether it's coconut water, vitamin water, whatever it is you're utilizing.
Yeah.
I'm a big coconut water guy.
Yeah, that's not even like a around the open time. That's an all the time thing, and I can tell every day whether I'm a little dehydrated or not. So something to be aware of with your body.
Definitely. And then the other thing you mentioned as well was caffeine. If I do the workout Friday afternoon, I'm drinking a cup or a small cup of green tea in the morning. Green tea, usually black tea, those are the two that have the most caffeine benefits in it. White and herbal teas, you're not really getting a whole lot of caffeine. So if you're really trying to get that strong boost and you're not looking to take a no-dose or something artificial caffeinated, then you could go ahead and do some like green tea or black tea as well to get that energy spike up as well for the workout. Anything else you think for 24 hours beforehand before we jump into the next strategy? Or I think that pretty much hits it. Nutrition.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, I definitely try to get in plenty of carbs the night before. I generally go with something more like sweet potatoes or even regular white potatoes. Maybe you don't want me to say that, but
no, hey, at the level you're training at, it's completely okay.
Yeah.
Completely fine. Well, so those are the kind of the big keys, and the things we really talk about are self-care, chiro, massage, doing some mobilization stuff.
Plenty of sleep the night before is important.
One of the most underrated things of people's health. The worst comment I ever hear is when people tell me they'll sleep when they're dead.
Oh yeah, terrible.
You'll die earlier if you don't sleep.
Yeah, I tell people, a lot of people ask kind of like, how did I get so much better between 2013 and 2014? And honestly, one of the biggest things I did was start getting more sleep because I stopped coaching gymnastics. So I was doing the whole like work late at night and work super early in the morning thing, coaching CrossFit and coaching gymnastics. And once I was able to give up the gymnastics job, I was able to get to bed earlier, and it made all the difference in the world. So don't underestimate a good night's sleep, and that's something to consider if you need to alter your plan. Maybe you didn't sleep well the night before, or you had something you couldn't control where you had to stay up late. It could be worth it to just push the open back a day. I mean, that's the beauty of having 4 days to complete it, is that you can alter your plan as you go.
I completely agree, and just for everyone who's doing it the night before to get that winner's edge, if you want to even take it next level, put a piece of black tape over all those LED lights in your room, the alarm clock, the cable box, the alarm, all those things, and notice your melatonin levels will stimulate even a lot more as well. So you'll perform at your best the day of the Open. So let's go to strategy 2. And strategy 2 is just creating an effective strategy around the workout. How have you noticed this has benefited you during the Open, creating effective strategies through workouts?
I mean, you have to plan out every little detail, like where you're going to set up your equipment, which clips you're going to use on your bar, how you're going to add your plates on the bar, which plates slide on the bar better. If you need to, I really like kind of like having time goals. If, let's say, for transition periods, like when I'm going to come off the pull-up bar and go back to burpees or whatever it is. And so sometimes I'll write those time goals on the floor so I can see them in the middle of my workout and know if I'm on track, or, even if you fall behind a little bit, it just keeps you accountable during your workout, little cues here and there. Or it helps some people to write a little encouraging quote on the floor so they remember in the middle of the workout so they don't get mentally down on themselves.
One of the things, and like they said, that is, one of the things I personally like to do is I messed this up last year, complete rookie move. I was doing the chest-to-bar pull-up workout, and I stood under a pull-up bar that was about 6 inches over my fingers. Well, huge. I think I told you this last year and then I redid the workout, and I had a box jump, and I was able to stand on the box, and then I could just easily grab the bar from there.
Yeah.
So it made
little things like that can make a difference.
Oh my gosh, that was a big crucial difference between everything. But every advantage you can get in this Open is, as you know.
Yeah, I mean, another thing to add about strategizing is just like well, I already said time of day that you do it, but also thinking about what environment you perform best in. Not everybody is going to go to regionals or the games, and so you don't have to worry about getting used to a crowd if you don't like it. I mean, you might want a certain person judging you that keeps you calm and encourages you the most, or maybe you do like a crowd, so you should do it at a time where there's a bunch of people in your class or getting together for an event at your gym. Some people thrive under that, but some people do not thrive under those circumstances. So kind of figure out what kind of athlete you are.
I know some gyms do them on like Saturday morning, so that gives you too the opportunity as well. Since it's not dual day, gives you the opportunity to figure out, maybe you can do the twice if you want. I know for me, as far as like warm up, that's definitely a underrated thing that people don't utilize. They get really excited about the workout and they want to hurry up and do it, but they don't spend the time not only doing dynamic, though they're not maybe getting some jump roping to loosen their body up, doing some stretching, starting with a little run, prepping the nervous system. Remember last year we did an open squat workout, and maybe people warmed up doing some overhead squats just to start the nervous system for the weight they're going to be loading onto their bodies. Do you ever see that where people just get like excited and they just jump right into it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially if it's anything with the barbell. Well, for me at least, I need to make sure I'm adequately warmed up. And this is something you learn. It becomes more like automatic the more you've competed, but maybe this is your first open and you're not as familiar with that. I would just make sure you even start sweating a little bit, make sure you get your blood flowing sufficiently before you decide to go into a WOD. I mean, generally when you're in just a regular CrossFit class, you're going to get really warm before you start a lifting session or a WOD anyway, so you don't want to do anything different than you normally would.
Yeah. I know everyone right now we're having, for some reason it's not showing up on the screen, the PowerPoint. What it says right now, just so you know, it says strategy 2, create an effective strategy. That says right now on the PowerPoint. So I know if you just posted in their questions that they get, really it just says right there. Right now it's all about the content, giving out some of this valuable information through the audio. So I've got everyone's responses, and just so you know, I will post a point as well for everyone there. One thing I think that's important as well, for everyone is thinking of the shoes to utilize, right? Like sometimes you could use Olympic lifting shoes. They may get too heavy, so you may want to switch over to the nanos. What are some of your thoughts on shoes? Do you ever switch out what you do?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And this is kind of something that you want to put thought into, but you don't want to get too obsessed with it, because I have certain shoes that I like to use for certain movements, but then sometimes in competition, let's say I have special rope climbing shoes, but then they throw out pistols, and I can't change shoes in the middle of a WOD, so I try to be a little bit adaptable here. But shoes can definitely play to your advantage. Let's say there is going to be a thruster workout, I might wear something. Well, I mean, nanos can be used for almost anything, but maybe you have a lighter weight lifting shoe. I would definitely recommend it for any type of overhead squat or thruster. You generally see both of those movements in the open, so that's important. A double under, something light and quick. Same with the box jump, something that's gonna stabilize your ankle and provide enough support to rebound if you can rebound, but light enough to do a lot of repetitions like the open usually requires.
Yeah, and of course it depends on the work. That's why just sort of the stuff we're talking about is variable based on the workout, and that's why each week on Friday I'll actually put the PDF about strategies you can utilize. So each week get some strategies from different people of things you can utilize as well throughout the process. And what do you? One last question I have on you about this last topic is, what do you think about breath? Do you think losing your breath can be the downfall of the entire workout, where some people go out too fast? Breath is lost. Yeah. So for instance, one of the workouts, let's say last year, it was 14.1. It was 10 minutes, 30 double unders, and 75 pounds power snatch, 15 reps. And a lot of people I know would go so fast out of the gate, and after about 2 minutes, they lost their breath. Their breath was gone. They didn't have control of their breathing pattern. so they were done. Where
Um,
I know some people, you know what I'm talking about?
yeah, so I have differing opinions on this. So
I'd love to.
14.1 last year, I actually did it twice, and I wasn't planning on doing it twice. The first time I did it, I was very methodical. I didn't do anything unbroken. I broke my snatches up into at least two and possibly three sets, and I broke my double unders up into two sets every time. And it was, very steady, no major mistakes. I was fairly happy with my score, but after I was done, Ben was like, "You're not even tired. You're fully recovered, and it's 2 minutes after the time is up." So you don't want to redline, but with that being said, I did it again on Monday, and I just said, all right, I'm going to go hard out of the gate. It's only a 10-minute workout. I'm going to sprint it out and see what happens. And I think I ended up with like 30 to 40 more reps. So it kind of depends on the length of the workout. For some people, 10 minutes is a pretty long workout, so you have to pace it out a little bit. For me, I had to approach that 10 minutes like a sprint because so many, especially like small girls, were just moving through that workout. And so I had to approach it more like a sprint, an all-out effort. And my first 2 to 3 rounds were super fast, and then it started to slow down, slow down, slow down. But it was still much faster than my paced effort. So that's kind of one good thing about the Open is that you do have the ability to repeat it. I would never recommend doing any workout more than twice, just because it takes too much of a toll on your body. But it really is you don't do a WOD inside of the gym and then the next day go repeat it. So you generally don't get to learn about yourself as an athlete as much as you do as you have the opportunity to do in the Open.
I agree with you 100% what you said. I've seen people where they'll do it on Thursday night when it comes out, Saturday morning, and then they'll redo it again on Monday, and they don't realize the amount of stress it puts on the nervous system and how after a couple weeks of that you can actually eventually fatigue it. And so you really start to lose ground on this whole Open. It's a 5-week process, and we'll get to some of, and I think our bonus strategy will give some more insight in this. But let's go to strategy number 3.
All right.
If it decides to come up. There we go. Seeing it to believe it. I wanted to make sure tonight we gave everyone not just tangible strategies, but also some of the intangibles that a lot of pros use to get really good results and be the pros that they are. The reason why the pros are the pros and the best of the best is because they're willing to do things differently than else is willing to do. And they push themselves so far past what they would ever think is possible that they're able to achieve this. And the reason why I wanted to put this up is when you think of certain athletes, cyclists, a quote one time said, "I never hit a shot, not even in practice, without having a very sharp, in-focus picture of it in my head." Michael Jordan would shoot throws with closing his eyes. Practicing it in practice, he would close his eyes and shoot free throws. North Carolina basketball team, they make them close their eyes and actually pretend to shoot free throws without actually shooting the free throw with the ball in hand so they can start visualizing and seeing it. Emily, you know I'm a big believer in this. I know all the Woods does it. LeBron James, they all use this strategy. Do you ever use this strategy or?
Yeah, definitely. Growing up in gymnastics, we did a lot of visualizing, especially on things like balance beam. You would sit there with your eyes closed and visualize your entire routine, and obviously do it in a way where everything was perfect. And this definitely can be helpful in CrossFit. I think I use this the most on things like max lifts and things that are a little more like you get one chance to do this, but it definitely helps in a WOD as well. You don't realize how much that mental energy plays into what you're going to do physically. But overall, I think visualizing just helps you maintain like a positive state of mind, and then basically saying in your mind that you're going to do something and then actually following through and going to do it.
In some areas too, like this could actually hurt some people, where I'll see some people that are going for PRs on 1 rep maxes, not during the open, but just generally. And what they'll do is they'll be concentrating on someone else, and they'll watch them fail a few times, and then when it's their turn to go, they'll fail because they saw that person fail and they got that in their head, versus watching somebody do repetitively successfully a few times, and that gets their brain in that certain state, and they're able to do it really well. And that's, I think, if you're going after serve during the open, you want to focus on people you know that are going to dominate and do really well. And you want to focus on them and look at them, because that's what's going to get you motivated, and that's the certain thing you're going to be putting in your subconscious mind during this workout. Have you ever
I
seen
mean, that was
happen?
the other thing in gymnastics. We kind of weren't allowed to watch our teammates that went before us, just because if anything negative happened, our coaches didn't want us to have that in our mind. So yeah, if you know that there's somebody that's going to motivate you, watch them beforehand, get pumped up, and that energy could take you a long way. You see, when one of your training partners PRs, the chance of you PRing right after that is much higher than if somebody's being super negative and complaining, and then you've got to follow that, and you're trying to, make your max lift. So energy and mind state is huge, 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 huge.
And I think also for people, before that, the countdown starts, 10, 9, 8, those 10 seconds, close your eyes and just start seeing yourself. If it's an overhead squat, see yourself with that bar over your head, and you just coming up and down, up and down, up and down. Box jump workout, you see yourself up and down, up and down, up and down. You're seeing yourself, and you're taking yourself through the workout before it even starts. When I went to watch Emily last year at the CrossFit Games, I spent time with Klokov. Emily, I think I told you the story as well, and I asked him a question. I go, Dimitri, quick question. What do you do before you lift? Because he closes his eyes for a few seconds. He makes some weird Russian noise. I don't know what he does. And then I asked him, I said, what do you do? What are you doing in that time frame? And he said, well, first he made a joke. He goes, I look at you. but then he broke it down, and I visualize myself at the end of the lift. If I just visualize the first part of the lift, then that's all I'm going to be able to get through perfectly, and I probably won't be able to finish it the way I want to finish. He's like, I visualize myself, where do I want to finish at the end of the lift and at the end of the movement? And I actually wrote an entire article on this. I recorded the question I asked him. Once again, that's on the website as well, draustincohen.com, and we even post on our Instagram accounts as well. So definitely something to check out. I think it's a great article and thing that he talked about as well. So
yeah, I mean, the last thing I have to add on the see it to believe it is, when you're going into a competition day, whether it's the open or whether it's a actual physical event, the day that you wake up and it's competition day, pretty much everything from that point on is, if you can't control it, you shouldn't complain about it. So let's say you wake up and you don't feel great. If somebody asks you how you feel, you say, I feel great. You know what I mean? You just convince yourself otherwise. You don't complain about the equipment that's at the event. Maybe you're doing the workout at another box because you're traveling for your job and you're not happy with the pull-up bar. There's nothing you can do about it, so try not to be negative about it. Just block that out of your mind. You're going into your 10-minute workout, and every thought should be about completing the workout, and it's all positive thoughts. You're not going to stop in the middle of it. It's all go, 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 go until you're done. And then you can evaluate your performance and see if you need to make any changes. But there's no sense in complaining about things that you can't change.
Great point. Especially the weather. I mean, look at we're in Atlanta right now, and the weather has been pretty garbagey, and easy to go into the gym and complain about it. But you know what? It's Mother Nature. Just be your best. That's all you can do.
Right. It's kind of like at a competition. If they give you if you're a female, they give you a men's bar. You have to adapt to it. So there's no reason to complain about it. Or at the games, they give you a fat rope to climb, and you want to complain about it, but there's nothing you can do about it. You're gonna be faced with it. So you might as well figure out a way to accomplish it rather than complaining about what you're given.
So I know everyone can now see the visual, and by the way, now we can start seeing the. If you have any questions, you can start posting on the right side in the chat box. But we have a bonus strategy that I wanted to share, and I thought this was important to do because I've seen it negatively affect people throughout it. But let me get to this real quick, this bonus strategy, and it's when this competition is over, there's only one person you can compare yourself to, and that's you. And there's no point in comparing yourself to other people and let it stress you out. And looking at the leaderboard and seeing where you fall and seeing, oh, my friend did better than me. I've seen it negatively affect people where for the past 4 years I've been doing the Open, literally I've seen women and men cry after a workout because their friend did better than them, yet they did better themselves the year before. Because as you notice, the workouts, especially the wall ball, double under, and the muscle up workout they've repeated times, and I've seen people get upset about themselves even though they were able to do muscle ups this time. Only
Right.
person to compare yourself to is you. This is about you, and you know what? Take this strategy and this bonus strategy right here, implement it into your life, and every year on your birthday, the only person you compare yourself to in your life is you. We really need to stop comparing ourselves to other people and letting it affect us. It's such a huge point. Emily, do you have anything to? I mean, what can you say about this? Do you see this a lot in the gym?
Yeah, I've definitely seen that in the past. I've seen it during the Open. I've seen it in regular competition. Um, but yeah, I mean, let's say you get hypothetically 100th in the first WOD, and you're not happy with the 99 people who did better than you. You shouldn't focus on that, but maybe focus on, all right, I'm going to break into the top 100 next week. And if you got better in the next workout, then awesome. You did better in the second week than the first week. Or, like you said, if you got one muscle up this year that you didn't get the year before, that's a victory. So celebrate the little victories. But most importantly, just kind of be grateful for every day that you can participate in this. You're a healthy person if you're participating in the CrossFit Open. You're pretty capable compared to the average population. So I think that's something to already be grateful for. But anytime you can see yourself improve, that's one of the greatest things to see in a person. That's what I get excited about as a coach, is seeing the small victories, and not necessarily somebody winning a workout.
Wow, great point. Oh man, I actually didn't even think about that. Just like how fortunate we are to even do this.
Yeah.
In our bodies, and just like thanking God every day we're able to compete at this level. I mean, we're training like professional athletes are training for just the average person. I mean, you obviously are and you are professional, but some of us, just like the day to day for us, it's just we were used to going to some standard gym or some spinning classes, and now that CrossFit's become so popular, this is very new for a lot of people. Just most people in CrossFit have only been doing it for between usually 1 to 5 years, and very rare on the 5-year side. So,
Right.
wow, yeah, count your blessings on that side. All right, so one question, Emily, someone asked. They wanted to know from you, what was your favorite memory from the CrossFit Games last year?
From the actual games or just the whole?
Actual games. The question says, what was your favorite memory from the CrossFit Games last year?
Ooh. It's got to be the feeling of the final workout when I went out there and I didn't know what to expect, and I thought I was going out ranked 11th, and I was really going out ranked 10th. I had started the day in, I think, 17th place, and I moved all the way down to 6th at the end of the day, and just kind of like looking up in the stands and seeing everybody that had come all the way from Atlanta, and it was probably one of the happiest moments of my life, and I look up and everybody else is equally sharing that same moment with me. And I didn't even know that I had jumped to 6th place. All I knew is that I had given my best effort and that my best effort was good enough.
Awesome. I think what's so great about you is I think you were one of the only athletes. I remember it was right after a workout. You actually came into the stands at the tennis center, I believe, and you came into the stands this was like right when Emily was making it to the top 10. She runs down the stairs, says hi to all of her friends that were out there from Atlanta. Her family was there as well. And in my head, I was like, oh my God. People I'm sure wanted to take pictures with her, but she didn't care. I mean, she just wanted to come out there and show her support and appreciation and gratitude. And that's why, I always say Emily's such a good person, just such a humble person to be around. Someone said right here, they asked about the best times for sleeping. Latest research shows 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. is when your body secretes the best hormones. So what they say is back in the days when they go to like hunter-gatherer generations, the reason why in the cold winter months it was not as dark was because we weren't hunting as much and we were conserving a lot of energy. Most hunting occurred in the summer and the spring months, so there was more sunlight and more sunshine, so it gave us more time to take in all these nutrients and all this food so we could hunt and gather during that summer and spring times. And so if you want to be a perfectionist, which is very hard, you would go to sleep right at sunsets and you would wake up right when the sun rises. But based on hormones, usually 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. is the best time to get crucial sleep. So
just to add on that a little bit, I don't know who all's listening to this right now, but if you're in the Atlanta area, one of my training partners, Allison Brager, actually specializes in sleep studies. And she may be doing a seminar, like a mini short seminar at CrossFit Terminus in the near future. So if you visit our Facebook page, we can keep you updated on that. Or she kind of like geeks out on this stuff. So if you have like specific questions, that's something that she can really help out with. She sends us, me and all my training partners, articles all the time about don't turn your light on in the middle of the night if you go to the bathroom because it's going to disturb your sleep, which, you know, I don't know if I believe it, but I don't do the things she tells me not to.
Yeah, and that all of that, like all that light stuff goes right. I mean, melatonin levels. These hunter gatherers back they didn't have iPads and iPhones and alarms, and they didn't have printers and computers, and you know, all they had was the darkness. And sometimes you'll notice, for those of you who go camping, you may notice that when you camp, you probably get your best night's sleep based on the fact that you're not have your iPhone in front of your face the whole time.
Yeah.
So, you know, I put on here, by the way, just some information, because I know some people asked for this just a second ago. Instagram, you can follow Emily at Emily Bridgers. Myself, just Dr. Austin Cohen. And then you can follow Emily on Facebook and myself at Dr. Austin Cohen. Emily posts a lot of great videos. She's got awesome sponsors that are out there that really help her get to where she needs to go and that she utilizes. She posts about them
I try to respond to Facebook messages if you have any specific questions too.
Awesome. I've got a blog I post every Monday, and I'll be posting strategies every Friday about the Open, just PDF format. I got really excited. I told Emily this. I got really excited. I was going to do videos every Friday, but there's no way I'm doing videos every Friday. Got a baby now. Too much excitement, but I'll just post I'll post a PDF file that'll have all about nutrition, strategies, breathing techniques, what to do maybe 24 hours beforehand, maybe certain specialists that I would go ahead and see. So it'll give you some strategies and ideas that you can be utilizing as well to get the most optimal results possible. Hold on, let me put questions here. Somebody asked, what do you think the first workout's going to be, Emily? 15.1.
Well, every first open workout has either had double unders or snatches in it. If you're newer to the open, you might not know that. I predict maybe some power cleans and double unders.
Power cleans and double unders.
Or maybe power cleans and burpees.
Ooh.
I don't know. We'll see. I try not to predict, especially the first week. It's so hard to predict.
Well, we'll go with both of them. Guys, make sure next week you tune in. Tomorrow night we get the Open first workout.
I definitely think it's going to be something with a barbell, though, because they wouldn't bring Matt Frazier and Rich Froning to a workout and not use a barbell.
My prediction, everyone, is 8 minutes of burpees.
That would be terrible.
Everyone hates me right now. Hey, listen. Emily, listen, thank you so much. You've been awesome the past year, and I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're super busy right now. Taking the time tonight to do this.
No problem.
Yeah, you've been awesome. And for those of you next week, Emily will be in Austin, Texas. She'll be competing. You can watch it at games.crossfit.com. You can follow her at Facebook and Instagram as well. Some great posts. I'll be posting a lot about the Open throughout the process, and as well, every Monday I do post certain Monday morning motivations, as well as I do live webinars once a month, a lot of on personal development and just how to live an extraordinary life. The webinar is called Ordinary to Extraordinary Webinars, and it's just about taking the one life you've been given on this earth and figuring out what your passion is, your purpose is, and just making it your best. So, Emily, any final notes?
I don't think so, unless anybody has any questions.
There are a few other questions, and if anyone wants to ask them, go ahead and send them to Emily. A lot of questions to get answered right now. But just go ahead and send them to Emily's Facebook page, and she'll be able to get that taken care of for you. And guys, really appreciate everyone taking their time out tonight to be on the call. I'll go ahead and make this a replay version. Go out this weekend. You have 5 weeks. Make this a dominant 5 weeks. Perform like you never thought you could perform. And really give yourself what you know is possible out of you. I think this is an awesome stepping stone for a lot of people. So everyone have a great night. Love you all, and everyone have a great, awesome Open.
Good luck, you guys.
Yeah, take care.